Hello and welcome to this resume training video. This will cover tricks and tips to make you stand out. Today's agenda will cover the resume structure, the basics, and some advanced resume tactics. We'll also cover the other aspects for you to consider when creating your resume. Let's get started. There are 3 sections to a resume build. The first is to prepare yourself by gathering all the appropriate information. So make sure you've gathered all your employers, dates that you worked there, job titles, including any promotion dates to this so they can see how long you've been in that particular role. Focus on the last 10 to 15 years or the past 4 employers if long employment tenure. Make sure you include your contact information, your full name, address, cell phone, and professional email. If you do not have a professional email account, please create a new one and do not attach any personal emails. Any social media blogs, links to LinkedIn, any professional related content, articles, portfolios to include as part of your resume. Include your education details, full dates, degrees, details of what you've achieved, certifications and any professional trainings you may have completed. Here are the basics. So firstly, the resume format. Make sure you save it with a logical title and make sure it's professional at all times. You stick to your name and maybe the date. Use a common format that employers can open, such as Google, Word, and consider saving it as a PDF so that it cannot be edited by the reader. Always use a professional font such as Calibri, Times New Roman or Arial. Do not use scripture or anything that's difficult to read. Same with the font size, keep it between 10 and 12. Anything small or larger may be quite difficult to go through. Align your resume to the left and make sure you've got things such as subject headers and titles in bold to make it easy to read, such as your profile, objective, your experience, education and skills. Leave space. This is important. Don't cram everything onto the one page. Ideally up to 2 pages to fill, but you don't want to cram everything in because the flow won't be easy to read. Here's some examples of some resume types. You can use any of these structures in order to either customize yourself for the role that you're applying to work for, or just to have a generic template which you can adapt as you go along. So the first one is the reverse chronological. So you start with your most recent activity and then you work your way back. There's a functional resume. This approach keeps the focus on the skills which would benefit the job and has a brief list of your past employers. We've also got a combination resume, which is the best parts of functional and chronological to present the skills that you possess and connect them to past employers and timeframes, so you can highlight where you would have utilised particular skills in your career path. Target resume. You can customize your resume to the wants of the particular organisation you want to apply for and that role, which may increase your chance of being noticed. A portfolio resume is for those of you that have more of a creative nature associated with specialising in design, architecture, editors, writers, graphic designs, etc. This approach will showcase examples of your work as well as the standard resume info. Include maybe links or blogs or some graphics to highlight and showcase some of your skills. The top third of your resume is probably the most important to show. So make it impactful. Create an objective statement that best represents you and your career goals. And with the experience overview, make sure you include company history, where you worked, the location, and the last title you held, and most importantly, those dates. Give examples where possible. So if you're going to work in a sales role or you're applying to work in a sales role, give examples of any clients that you retained, your billing history, and things like that to highlight your talent. Some advanced resume tactics. Use industry-specific titles. You might have a particular job title that's unique to that company that you worked for previously, but it's not very well recognized outside of that organization. You might be known as a brand guru, but outside to other organizations, you might fall under the marketing remit. So make sure that you have some variation there. Use more action verbs. Instead of saying you just led, maybe play around with some other options, whether saying things like you supported, also use other words as well. Tailor your resume to the job. Use keywords, titles, or phrases from the actual job posting that you're applying for, and that may help you sort through any automated systems the company may be using. And if possible, give specific outcomes of your activities in past roles. So give examples of what you've done, what you achieved as evidence. Have a good balance of I and we to showcase that you can work independently very well as successfully within a team. Consider having an achievement section. Highlight your recognitions, any awards that you may have won, just to highlight what you can do and what you've been recognised for. Spell check everything, that's the key, as well as having the MON tests. So make sure you get somebody to read through your resume to make sure that they can understand what you've done as opposed to someone that's in the industry. Remove the references available on request. All recruiters know that they can request references, but if you do have references, have them ready and make sure that they are prepared to answer any questions and that you've asked permission to use their details. Also, don't exaggerate or lie on your resume. These things get caught out very quickly and it can start you off on the wrong foot when it comes to your new opportunity. So just stick to the truth and remember evidence-based everything. It's more than just your resume, so always remember that. Other aspects to consider. Employers do look at social media, so what is your current presence? Do you share professional information and content on social media at the moment? Perhaps you should use or try to use a hashtag that helps promote your career in the field that you work in. Don't just rely on applying for the job. Be proactive. Reach out to hiring managers where you can, identify them, and be creative in your approach to getting attention. Always say thank you. If they respond to you, always acknowledge it and thank them for their response. But be persistent with it all as well. Set follow-up dates with recruiters or hiring managers and ask if you can follow up with them. Continue to advocate for yourself and your ability to positively impact the company you are applying for. For more information on other subjects such as virtual interviewing, covering letters, and job search techniques, please visit careerbuilder.com.